Yeah, I think I'm gonna main deck the Force of Negations instead. And then let's just think about what would this be like if it was Flare versus what is it like as Force. Um, well, I guess one thing I don't like about Force, I mean, I shouldn't be thinking too much about the increment, but we did draw more cards off the Professor's triggers than I expected us to. Yeah, but let's do one Force main, two side, and this just does also help a lot with those sideboard plans against those combo decks. You know what? I play one less Consign because I can bring in Harbingers against Tron. It seems like our combo build's okay against like red green Eldrazi probably. I think that looks alright. And then I do like that the so like one big thing about Flare versus Force too is if on turn 3 or like maybe not turn 4, if you go Cauldron Frog onto Professor and you don't have an extra mana to play that turn somehow, I think I would rather just have like my I guess it's maybe okay to sack the Professor to Flare, but if you can Force of Negation and then you just have an infinitely big creature, that's pretty good. Oh, sorry, I meant to cut the Winter Knight. So let me grab some Force of Negations. Do we want 4 Fatestitchers? Yes, we want 4 Fatestitchers because they allow us to combo with Gran-Gran. And I think it's good to have the redundancy to the combo. Fatestitcher is also just like weirdly it does it always does something you don't expect it to. If you're already splashing red, do you not want lootings? There's a big difference between splashing Meltdown and Pyroclasm, which are like turn 2 like sideboard cards versus splashing a 1-drop. If I was gonna play Faithless Looting, I would need like 3 red shocklands, probably maybe 2, but probably 3. And I only need 1 red shockland for these, and it makes all my mana easier game 1. I'm also not convinced that looting would be good in this deck. Like looting is good on like the combo turns, but like a big part of this deck is just your ability to outgrind, and like looting kind of diminishes that ability. This was crazy clickbait. I don't know how you got here. On the what was the comment? What if you could have Cloud post to untap instead? But I mean, just flipping Society seems really tough. There's a button on the card. Yeah, I know. I'm being funny. I'm doing a bit. Of course, Boxwood has the rotate button. All right, Marsh Flats. It's tough, but it's so fun. It does seem fun. Goodbye, sweet grandma. A little scary. Let's just surveil Oculus into the yard. I guess I'm going to say no to this. Thoughtseize. Could possibly just do nothing this turn and then cast this, let it die, then unearth it, draw some cards. Think I want to get the grandma down with so many lands. So they've got it to Johnny. I guess we do attack here. A little awkward. I guess I shouldn't have fetched. So I think I'm going to wait on the unearth, so I'm not just unearthing the Professor into a Flage. And if I draw any spell, I can play it, draw a card. Maybe if I get really lucky, I could draw like 1-drop into 2-drop and then get this up to 2/4. But yeah, I have played Frog in Hollow One. I don't think it's very good. I do think the new 2/1 is pretty good in Hollow One. I haven't tested that card yet. Maybe I need to really prioritize doing that next turn or next game. Oh, gross, dude. They flip over a Fatestitcher, which they could cast. Yeah, exiling this many cards from my yard also means like top deck oculi are not like really insane anymore. Don't really know. I mean, I could like surveil frog in the yard and then draw the guy, although I don't. Yeah, it dies to dis. Okay, we'll keep it. Oh, sorry. I should have exiled one card from the yard. I doubt it's going to be a big deal. Hopefully, their last card's not a discharge. Could be another Thraven Charm. Yeah. Yeah. So they were worried about me having a push as my last card, then Cauldroning. They didn't surveil, which is probably wrong. So now if we could draw a Professor, we could win. They flip over a copy of Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which is actually really, really bad for me. So let me Cauldron my own frog here. So Fatestitcher can block Ocelot Pride, and it can tap their Cauldron. Okay. They graveyard an Arena of Glory. So they messed up by not tapping the Cauldron here. Now, if I can find a Professor, then I can go Unearth my Fatestitcher, tap their Cauldron, Cauldron a Johnny onto the Professor, win the game. Although I guess they could exile their Johnny in response. They find a Fatestitcher. We'll see if they deem that worthy of casting. And they do. So we get 2 looks at a Professor. We have 3 left in the deck. So 2 out of 39 to win. Not very high. One out of 38. Not this game. So we did just cut the Trespassers, which I think, we'll see how this game feels without them. I'm going to bring in the Pyroclasms. I'm going to bring in the Engineered Explosives. I'm going to cut the copy of Force of Negation. I think I'm going to go down just 2 Thoughtseizes. Did I play the Isidore Ryo deck with the Red Emeritus? If so, how did it play? The Red Emeritus did not play very well. The Blue Emeritus did play pretty well. So I would play some number of the Blue Emeritus, somewhere between 1 and 3 in the 75. Probably 2. Hello, Spike in chat. They convinced me to go to Modern RCQ. I have 2019 burn list. What's the best list you can run? You need DRC Bobble Flage, I think. That's how I would build it, at least. I wouldn't recommend it. All right, let's mulligan this 7 on the play. Let's keep this. So I'm never casting Fatal Push turn 1. I don't want to get Blood Crypt on turn 1 because it screams, I have Pyroclasm. I have Pyroclasm. I don't want to do that. But no matter which 1-drop they play turn 1, I'm going to play Psychic Frog. I wonder if Tomio is a card you could use in the deck. I mean, it obviously is a card you could play. Yeah, we don't, although I guess maybe one problem with this is I kind of did want to discard a land here if they discharge. I don't know. But yeah, you could play Modern Staple Tomio in your blue deck. I don't think it's amazing here. Favorable to 3 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Happy anniversary. That does survive Pyroclasm, huh? I might need to Pyroclasm push this next turn. Could double push now. What was the previous deck? It was this one. Fetch a basic, they got planes. Maybe. I feel like playing the sewers from our hand is good. And if they do Blood Moon me, I can cast both the cards in my hand. Like, it's not like I fetched for the sewers. I played it from hand. Yeah, I think if they played Blood Moon, we're ahead. Kind of funny. Now, if the frog had died, it would have been pretty good for us. They surveil. They got 3 cards in their hand. Plays a copy of a Johnny. Why don't we just start off by flying? If we draw a frog, we win. I don't think I hate this. We can push our own Oracle and then unearth it if we need to combo this game, although it doesn't exactly seem that likely that we will need to. And let's just put a Delta on top so we can cast Pyroclasm next turn, which doesn't kill any of our guys. Also, if we Cauldron just a creature onto the Professor, we draw a card. Although, that also means when we cast Pyroclasm, we won't draw another card. Maybe not that important. So got 3 cards in their hand. I think it's kind of better to do this now so they don't draw into discharge. If they discard Flage, you can just Cauldron the Flage next turn. So go to game 3. Like their sideboard plan, I think. Yeah, it's infinite if Frog is in the graveyard. That's the combo, is Cauldron Frog onto Professor, which is why we're calling it Boiled Frog. We're on the draw. We have a Pyroclasm. I think I just have to keep this on the draw against Boros. Hope our grandma lives and can do some looting. They play a turn 1 Guide of Souls. We do draw a second land. It's not a red source. Harbinger against the 2-color mono removal aggro deck. Yeah, Harbinger is really bad against Boros. They get a lot of basics. They have a lot of removal for it. It's you know, it's also if you're behind on board, not a very good play. But that's the nice thing about Harbinger is no matter what your deck list is, people will suggest bringing it in, and no matter what the matchup is. And fun, it will win you the game sometimes, you know. Okay, so they play a Voice of Victory, which is obviously very good with this Guide of Souls. Let me go discard Frog, Unearth Frog, and Fatal Push the... I think I'm going to Fatal Push the Voice. Well, I guess I could have pushed the Voice before damage. So -1 damage. That's good, Don, no worries. We're all here to get better. Even me. Especially me. So does that goes 2 combos? Yeah, Cauldron, Fatestitcher with Gran-Gran, and Cauldron Frog on Professor. Alright, so I got 3 energy. We really need to find another land this turn. Let's go to combat. I'm going to send it with both. And probably we'll fly the frog after I loot. So let's just, well, maybe not. I guess I'm going to discard the Unearth. Maybe I discard one of the sweepers. So is my opponent going to double block Gran-Gran? I don't think that they will. It doesn't really matter if they do, I guess. Let's discard the explosives. The Fatestitcher isn't doing much. It wins me the game if I draw Agatha Soul Cauldron, so I think that's a good enough reason to keep one around. Yeah, because I don't want to discard Fatestitcher because I want to fly the frog, which means I don't want to exile the Fatestitcher. Oh, I mean this double block again, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to Pyroclasm and Gran-Gran anyways. Kind of an awkward draw. So now I'll discard Fatestitcher. And if I draw a Cauldron, we win. They passed the turn with 3 cards in hand. I guess we could expect a Thraben Charm. Passed pretty fast. Here he comes. No, Fable in the graveyard. Fable in the graveyard when you did nothing last turn? I feel like I'm gonna get solituded. Smells like Flage, right? I don't know. It's I have no read here. I don't know. I have no idea. It's I don't know. Smells like one of Solitude. I don't know. It seems to not be that. And I guess they literally just have lands and maybe Thraben Charm. Thraben Charm's like the only spell they can have, I think. Trying to get you to overextend into Wrath. It doesn't make sense holding Wrath when like I'm getting value every attack. Although surveilling Fable in the graveyard doesn't make sense either, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they have another Wrath. Seems like they thought they needed better gas than Fable. Well, I mean, their hand is like got to be full of lands. I don't know how they don't ever take Fable there. But also, like, this is the thing with Fable is like, this is not the only time we've ever seen somebody surveil a Fable of the Mirror Breaker away in the top deck battle. And like when your 3-drop isn't that good in the top deck battle, it's just so clearly the worst card in Boros. I don't know. All right, gonna keep this on the play. Bruno with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. It's a good draw. What's nice about seeing 1K command in the hand is you don't usually have to think too much about taking it. I think possibly could go after the heat instead. Is it better to manifest the Fatestitcher ever in the spot? No, because we win the game with it in the graveyard next turn. That's a pretty good reason not to. Although I guess they're gonna heat the Gran-Gran potentially. They may want to like rumble instead of to go Talisman heat next turn. Okay. Combo killing turn 3 after unearthing an Oculus turn 2 is pretty crazy. Okay, there's another creature in there. I think we needed this other creature in the yard. So we go Cauldron, Fatestitcher onto Gran-Gran. And then we untap the Cauldron. I guess we could just we could Cauldron the Gran-Gran instead of Cauldroning the Devourer. But now we are going to loot through our entire deck and then unearth Thassa's Oracle. Wait, where did the save targets go? I didn't see save targets as an option on the manifest. I'll just accept the extra click. No, everybody is a little confused by the Fatestitcher until they see this, I think. And I know they haven't been watching the stream. This is not the first time we played this combo. If you want to spice, you can unearth the Oracle now. There's not really any reason to do that besides sweat a misclick. Yeah, you can try to bait the concession, but they shouldn't concede because they should want to get more info on the deck list. We can chill. Yeah, so the thing about Walking Ballista is because you don't have Marauding Mako in this build, you in order to win with Walking Ballista from this spot, you would need to go unearth a Pensive Professor, untap Cauldron, Cauldron Frog onto Pensive Professor, have another mana to untap the to Fatestitcher the Cauldron again for Walking Ballista. Versus just you need one more mana. So like if we had Ballista over Oracle, we wouldn't be able to win from this position. Okay, and they pack it in. So only Consigns coming in. We have one less Consign than we had earlier today. I don't think Harbinger's not very good against them. Do I want Force of Negations? I think one Force of Negation so I can go Professor with Force Up could be good. Although maybe so push isn't the worst against them. I think I'd probably just rather have second push or second force over first push. EE maybe? I guess I don't know. Alright, if we can surveil a frog into the yard, we can pop off turn 3. So my opponent's on a mull to 6 on the play. Would y'all Force of Negation a Utopia Sprawl? I think if they mull to 5, I would. They did not mull to 5. Frog. All right, so we can draw our entire deck on turn 3, but we can't with double Force Up. So now I really don't want to force because I want to save the force for the Professor turn. Kind of crazy how busted Gran-Gran is, but still pales in comparison to Tomio in terms of blue 1-drops. I mean, Gran-Gran is better in some decks, but like, you know, Tomio is like the generic good blue card for sure. Think I do this? They don't have a card. So we're going to Cauldron Frog onto our Professor. Going to draw a card. And I don't really see a lot of reason to do anything. We could just start the loop at instant speed. Three, four, five, six, seven. So I guess they can... I mean, even if they Devour of Destiny, we should still win. They graveyard an Emrakul. They go to combat. Wait, what does this do? What? Maybe you can attack with a can't block. Well, I didn't have haste on it this turn. All right. We are 6-1 on the day. I've not gotten around to Harmonized Trio. I've not gotten around to Hardened Academic. I've not gotten around to Scrollsmith. I've not gotten around to the fractal. What make a fractal for the number of cards you've drawn. And there's like there's several cards that we just haven't played yet because this set is so deep and intricate. All right, so they're on a multi 6 on the play. Trogdor, the 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, they lead on a Stomping Ground after taking a long time to mulligan. We're playing against Red Green Eldrazi again. They multi 6. Don't love that draw. Let's take Kozilek's Command. Okay, Palantir. It's probably, pretty good here. So you got to scry 2. Don't draw a card. I take 2 damage. I do get to take the Myco Spawn now. Dang, the Palantir is like kind of insane here. Hasn't been a card that's tested well for us when we've played it in the past. Take 0. Okay, it's a great draw. So I can attack for 7 to 9, which is not lethal in 2 turns. I might need to let them draw a card next turn. So they put 1 on top, 1 on bottom. You cannot draw a card. I take 8. They've got no cards in their hand. So this is a 7. This 9 is still 16. Well, I guess Fatestitcher is 1 more damage. Still, I think we want to do this if we draw Unearth or just a land. We can play Oculus. Okay. Have lethal next turn. I guess I already had an Oculus in the yard. Shouldn't matter, really. So if they can surveil into the 3rd Kozilek's Command, maybe we're screwed, or if they just draw a good card right now. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so they can play most of their stuff. The black-white left gain deck you played the other day is not reflected in my Mox field. Not a question, but it should be. Look for the Orzhov symbols. Right here. Yes, draw a card. They put 2 on the bottom. Wait, how do they put... Oh, you only scry 2 every turn. That's right. You don't scry equal to the counters. All right, Palantir is still bad, I guess. Shout out real life. Let me cut all the fatal pushes again. Just, yeah, I think it's fine. Sideboard plan. And click submit. I was watching our match yesterday. You mentioned Detectives Phoenix. I agree it'd be good to add to my Marty deck. I'm not sure to make the cut. Any shot you can check out the list. I guess I probably just wouldn't know either. Because, like, we've played Mardu Blink with Catchamos and Detectives Phoenix in the past. And, like, I don't really feel like I've ever loved the balance of Catchamos, Phoenix, Flage, like, not Generosent, the Oliphant to like have the mana value to bestow, and like playing Solitude for mana value for Phoenix feels interesting in theory, and then playing Phoenix and Solitude together in the same deck, it's like weird for your plans. So I don't think I could like just take a look and tell you what to do because I don't really know the balance either. It's a very difficult balance to strike that you probably can only figure out if you're just playing a lot. How good was the 2-mana Silent Blood Flyer? It was like okay. I liked it a lot more with Idyllic range in the deck because you could just turn it into a 2/4 that signs the blood every turn and like survives Flage, but I didn't love it overall. So my opponent is maybe coming back from the bathroom. Silver Cold Charms Hope goes Sorin. Yeah, I do want to play like more Sorin with the charms. Like I was kind of thinking I wanted to try Abzan with Sorin, Withering Curse, and some combination of Witherbloom Charm and and a Black White Charm, Silver Quill Charm. I got frogs. Let's keep. They play an Eldrazi Temple and they pass. I think I'm just gonna graveyard this. I mean, we can go Frog on turn 2 into Frog on Earth Frog anyways, yeah. And Necro? I mean, possibly Necro. I kind of want to, I guess I kind of want to move away from Necro a little bit. I have Double Temple. All of our Witherbloom Charm decks have played Necro so far, and we haven't done super well with them. They've been kind of mediocre like Necro usually is. It's like our challenge opponent on Friday, just Triple Temple. Although our challenge opponent, they had Triple Temple in games 1 and 2 and Double Temple game 3. Cowards can't block Warriors, chat. But Worldbreaker can block Psychic Frog. Could Charlotte's Agent with Value Charm be interesting? It could be interesting. No! Yeah, I do like Witherbloom Charm a lot. It definitely has tested really well. They do take up Myco Spawn. Looks like they won't be able to play it this turn. They don't imprint anything. They play a Talisman, so now they could play Myco Spawn without the kicker. Maybe they have a Bajuka Bog. Okay, so my opponent's taking 7 down to 10. How relevant could playing this island be? If they take 1 damage to a talisman, then the frog could be lethal by itself, which I don't know. I'm gonna hold the island, I guess. Maybe they've got Emrakul here. They got something big. Kind of Emrakul proof. Are we? Loading super free. If we manifested a frog, it wasn't free. They put 2 on the bottom. Please don't cast Palantir. So they're gonna Ghost Quarter me? No. They graveyard a Talisman. They play Shifting Woodland from hand. They graveyard a Worldbreaker. Then they Rumble, and then they put Emrakul into their hand. What a draw, dude. I guess we get game 3 on the play. I think at this point we're pretty dead. Like I can attack with the Oculus. I can put them down to 3. Then they play Emrakul. They kill 2 of my manifests. Okay. I yield. To game 3 we go. The sequencing on the Rumble K command split can't have been right. I mean, it's right if they drew the Rumble off the K command. You get 2 more manifests, though. No, you only manifest on your opponent's turn. When they Emrakul you, you don't get the extra manifest. Okay, on the play. So how is this as a multi-6? I think it's like an okay multi-6. And it's a little bit better than that. This does like trigger the professor. Any tips for learning modern? I'm starting to play it for the first time, and boy, it's difficult. I mean, you just got to really dive in deep, you know. It's not really that different from learning anything else. You just play a lot, you lose a lot, try to figure out why you lost. Watch a lot of content, subscribe to Aspiring Spike, you know, normal stuff. I guess we take the Rumble. Probably mulliganing this if I knew I was drawing a land. So this is a new draw that can find them a Surveil land. I think we got a graveyard that. Also makes Unearth a good top deck. Hopefully my opponent's drawing as bad as me. We know that their hand is 2 more forests, a temple, and a mystery card, and then something. They have a spell on top, but it doesn't seem to be a great spell. Could maybe be like a Devourer of Destiny or a Sire. They don't know if they want to draw it next turn because they can't cast it. Whatever it is, they do keep on top. They play their Eldrazi Temple. Looks like a Myco Spawn. So they'll probably get rid of a land of mine and grab a Bajuka Bog. Remember, casting the Oracle is kind of fine. You can just Fatal Push it and then buy it back. Also, you can just make a big ol' Professor to attack with it. That can win some games. So let's cast this. Draw a card. Draw a Cauldron. Not too bad. Oh my gosh. Maybe I missed this line. But I guess it's possible that we could have gone. It's possible that we could have gone fetch surveil. Sorry, we can't put the Oracle trigger on the stack. Sorry, we can't put the Oracle trigger on the stack in response to the surveil. But I was thinking we could do that potentially. It doesn't work though. So do I want to draw the frog? I guess we'll confirm if we want to do that. It's better if I draw Consign. It's better if I surveil frog into the yard. I think I'm gonna fetch surveil. I get an extra draw off the Cauldron. Okay, so now I'm gonna keep the Gran-Gran because the Gran-Gran lets me combo next turn. Although I guess the blocker on the Gran-Grans could be a little bit of an issue. We draw another Professor. There's not a creature in a graveyard right now, but they could possibly mill one, and then I could possibly Cauldron that creature to put a counter on Professor, and I could possibly, off that counter, draw a Consign to memory. So I think that's enough of a reason to play Island over a Watery Grave here. It's very minor. Okay, well, there's the World Breaker. Let's go do that now. Oh, no, damn it. Sorry, I didn't realize they had enough mana to activate it. This was actually a huge punt. I didn't think they had this much mana for some reason. Huge punt to just lose the Cauldron like this, though. Can't we just push it under Thor? Yeah, I said exactly that. Not out of this yet. Not a bad draw. All right, let's just chill. Yeah, we would have drawn the Consign. That's true. Okay, so this means I can't combo anymore if I let this resolve. I boarded out all my fatal pushes. And so I will not be able to unearth the Oracle. That being said, I do just have two professors in play, and I could just I think two professors will probably win. Oh, I could also I guess I can't Fatestitcher. But if I Cauldron Fatestitcher, I could Cauldron Fatestitcher's ability to block. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let this resolve. The Consign is insanely valuable, of course. Oh, I could. That's true. I could fly the professors. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, I need to stop this because of Ghost Quarter. I guess Fatestitcher draws me two cards if I cast it. They mill an Embercool. They attack with World Breaker. I don't think the Oracle's doing anything else besides gaining me 5 life at some point, so let's just do that now. I do think I want to cast the Fatestitcher, because I want to discard the Frog potentially when I find a second Cauldron. Okay, not the worst draw. Okay, so next turn, I could win the game. I can go attack with Gran-Gran, discard the Frog, Cauldron the Frog, make two 30 power creatures, like I guess two like 15 power creatures that can fly, or one that can fly. So let's force this so they don't find anything. I do feel like we could probably be on 3 Fatestitcher instead of 4. I feel really happy with the playing 4. It's like you're like the second Fatestitcher is a big part of comboing with Gran-Gran, and you just loot it away for value a lot of the time. Worldbreaker has reached. Yeah, but we have 2 flying attackers, and they attacked with the Worldbreaker. Okay, so we just can also tap it with our Fatestitcher. I guess if I go to combat and they kill my Gran-Gran, we don't win, so... We could also untap the Cauldron if they have, like, Surgical, which is kind of fun. But we win. So I'm just gonna fly this now so they know that they're dead. Okay, so we're 3-0. Looks like I need to restart Magic Online. Pretty hand. Let's keep. I'd like to play Grandma turn 1. We'll see what's up. Okay, so this is probably Phoenix Dredge, which means we need to Thoughtseize like Artist Talent. Phoenix Dredge. Their hand's pretty good. Even Sans Artist Talent. The key is to build your opponent's deck, and then you'll know what to do. Alright, they cast Loam, they return Arid Mesa, Mountain. The Force of Negations are pretty good against them. The Cauldrons act as main deck graveyard hit, although it's not super good graveyard hit against them. Alright, so they Dredge Imp. They mill 2 Tide Colors, 1 Creeping Chill. Then they discard 2 Phoenixes. So they can play Dart and Flashback Dart to bring back 2 Phoenixes, which is not super good on this board. I'll just eat 1 with a Frog. Their hand is Dart, bunch of lands from the loam, 2 imps. Have you ever considered Postmortem Lunge in this deck for the haste aspect? Not really. I've always been a big hater of Postmortem Lunge, even like when Devoted Druid decks played it. I never really felt like it was a winning card. It was always a card that to me seemed like just did not raise your win percentage. So they get back Colosseum. The Colosseum should be pretty dang good next turn. But this means that they're kind of committed to not going for it now. I guess I'm going to attack. Didn't draw anything helpful. Pretty high chance we're dead this next turn. It's weird that they've reworked how Dredge works. They mill a 3rd Arc-like Phoenix and 2 darts. So they're going to get to Dredge. A lot of cards off this Colosseum. 1 Creeping Chill. There's the 4th Phoenix. So I can block 1 of the Phoenixes and take 9. Yeah, I'm dead. Arika minus the 11 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Have any prowess opponents play Growth on Professor with its incoming stack? Cool trick to stop the counter on the draw. That has not happened, no. Even if I had left the other frog back, we died. Game 2. So, good matchup for the forces. These are important because they kill the 1 mana O2 from the new set. Thoughtseizes are good. I think we just go down on the Oculi. Like, even though they do block Phoenix, I don't think that they're really the kind of game plan that wins. Consign does stop Creeping Chill triggers. You could replicate that. Could stop birds for a turn. I don't think it's a good plan. So I'm going to really want a hand that has some combination of Thoughtseize, Force, Cauldron, or the combo. They reworked Reg. Yeah, they're playing a newer version of an old brew on this channel. Phoenix Dredge. Okay, definitely keeping this. Deck that I do like, I would recommend. I think I should lead on the... Well... I don't know. Maybe I want to go Surveil turn 1. Because, like, really the only thing to do on turn 1 is, like, Looting or Tidecaller. And Looting is, like, not necessarily one I want to Thoughtseize. And if I can Surveil into a blue card and go Cauldron Force Up, that's pretty good. And if they play Tidecaller turn 1, I can go Push plus Thoughtseize. So I think I'll Surveil. I'm trying to find a blue card. Oh, Dredge rule change. It's the rules aren't different, but the way it's implemented on Magic Online is different. So I didn't find the blue card, so I do think I need to Thoughtseize this turn. Yeah, so take the Artist Talent. Their hand does basically nothing. They do get a Surveil. Yeah, the Fatestitcher goes infinite if you Cauldron Fatestitcher's ability onto Gran-Gran. And then you get to untap your Gran-Gran, draw your deck. Ultra at the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So we play Colosseum. I'm kind of surprised to see they're playing Memory's Journey. Maybe that's a sideboard card, but it's not one that I think is very good in their archetype. How's it different on Moto? It's like the triggers pop up now, and then you have to click one. It used to be you would just click on the card in your graveyard, and it didn't pop up like that. I think it's a solid change. Plays a mountain. So another Fatestitcher will allow me to win the game next turn, assuming I don't need to pitch this to Force. Not necessarily in a big rush here on account of how bad their hand is. They might hardcast a Phoenix this turn, I guess. Instead they just pass back. Wow, we win. Oh, wait. Sorry, I don't have a way to get the other Fatestitcher in the yard, actually. Yeah, we win next turn. Oh, wait, so hold on, wait. I could have gone Unearth Fatestitcher. Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, could not. Yeah, I think they're going to hardcast a Phoenix and... we'll be going to game 3 shortly. On the draw, I'm kind of scared. Guess we could have cycled the Unearth. Shouldn't matter. Can't Unearth Stitcher. Watch me! Alright, save targets. Always yes, always yield. Oh, you mean the card on Earth, I see. Ha ha ha. Let's get some more info there. Very scared to see immediately discarding on us. It just doesn't matter. We can just cast Oracle here. Even now we can untap a land, but we're fine. It's fine. I should just discard the Force. I don't know why I wanted to hold it. I can make 2 blue. I can play Watery Grave, then I can untap a Watery Grave or an Undercity Sewer. I mean, we did we not cast Force this game? Maybe we didn't. I did discard one. Not like their deck is like really very good at playing around it. You know what I mean? Wait, I discarded my Unearth. No, dude. I thought I clicked the Fatal Push. There's not another Unearth in the deck. So now I have to Cauldron Frog. I think we can still win. They milled me. Would have worked there. Opponent last seen playing this deck today. I got to keep this against the frog deck or the sort of Cosmic Wave deck. Yeah, I got to keep it under the radar. Yeah, they Serum Powder. Multi 5. Okay, well, glad we kept this. See if we get Thoughtseize bugged. They cast Spoils the Vault. I guess, yeah, I guess Spoils looking for the Goyf is pretty good. They could just die here. Wait, they named Gemstone Mine? Oh, they just didn't have a land. Okay. So their hand is Thud, Pact of Negation mystery card. I guess if that mystery card is Plunge into Darkness, we want to Thoughtseize. I think you take Thud. Well, we could cast Frog this turn and take Thud next turn because they're not going to go Goyf plus Frog. There's not enough cards in exile. So this is 4, 5. I guess I don't need to discard the second Oculus. I will if I like my top card, which I do think, yeah, we want to keep a Fatal Push. Oh, I guess I can't keep the Fatal. Oh, sorry, I drew off the Frog. Thought I was going to manifest it for a second. How good is... I guess Force of Negation is good if they go for the Thud line, which they kind of have to against the Fatal Push deck. All right, so fast game 1. Harbinger seems good. Let's also cut Oculi. Maybe I go down like 2 Unearths. Weird matchup, obviously. Y'all keeping this? I think we keep this. I think it's just hard to mulligan a Fatal Push against their deck. They reveal a Chancellor and they reveal a Devourer. I played Infect yesterday against this matchup. It's straight up who wins the die roll. I feel like they have some turn 2s. I guess you have some turn 2s as Infect. So they say no to a Cosmogoyf, no to a Forest, no to a Chancellor. So here comes Inquisition. They're not immediately taking the Unearth. Or sorry, taking the push. They take the Cauldron. I feel like every time I see this deck reveal Chancellor of the Tangle, they just don't do anything with it. Gotta keep the Thoughtseize. So that we can Thoughtseize ourselves next turn. Fair enough. My opponent knows I have a push. They're just not going to play Goyf into the push, I think. They probably are going to like plunge into darkness this turn. We lost to the Phoenix Dredge deck. I misclicked when we were comboing game 2, and then we might have won anyways, but my opponent did mill me out. So I'm at 20. I guess they already have some cards in exile. So yeah, if they can assemble Cosmic Wave Thud land, we lose here. So in theory, they'll pay 19. They pay 18 instead. Okay, I guess that's fair. I think it's always a good review for a deck when you lose to a misclick, and bad review for the stream quality. I think just concede. Yeah, I mean the Cosmic Wave deck is really fun. It's definitely not very good. Got some chest to open. So we lost to Storm, and then we added Force of Negations. I feel pretty good about it. We won our match against Boros pretty handily. We 2-0'd them. Our other loss was to a misclick. Hard to feel bad. I feel like this deck performed super duper well. I'm probably gonna like close to lock it in for the challenge on Friday. We pay out the believers. I would love to stream a little longer, but I need to be resting up a little bit. Still have some medical issues going on. I will be back tomorrow at the normal time.